Okay, so let's talk about the application or the reflection piece. Of course, with this particular course of study, we're interested in nursing practice, spirituality, ethics, those things. And so this is where, as an outsider coming in, a relative outsider, I don't do nursing practice, but again, I live with a nurse. Soon I've been married for 37 and a half years. And she's been a nurse for 23 of those years. But I'm not a nurse, right? And so I process the world one way. It's helpful for me to expand and grow. To have you informing me and helping me think about other ways to process the world. I have a certain lens, right? Into the world. You have a lens into the world. And if, like when I read the Fowler text, I come at that as a theologian, and I probably get things out of the Fowler text that you don't get just because I've got new eyes on it. They're different eyes, but you get things out of these texts that I don't get because I'm locked in, and I've used the term guild a bit, but it's true. I'm locked into this particular guild. I approach the text. In fact, I was telling some people just yesterday how sometimes I feel like I approach the text in too much of a rigid fashion. And what I mean by that is because I'm enculturated into this particular area of study, sometimes I yearn after being more creative with it, but there are rules, right? I want to pay attention to history. I want to pay attention to literature. I want to pay attention to archaeology. I want to pay attention to geography. All of those things that inform me and my development as a scholar, and yet those are some questions, but they're not all the questions. And sometimes what you're giving to me helps me get out of my own skin and see things in a creative new way. So this dimension of the assignment is less about the article itself and more about what it makes you think about. In fact, in other courses that I've taught, I've just put in a journal component into the course, and students had to just write about whatever they felt like, whatever reflection they had that might have been about God, it might have been about the Bible, it might have been about spirituality, it might have been about cooking dinner one night. I mean, it could be expressly spiritual in nature. It could be, hey, I was cooking dinner and having a conversation with my daughter, and this is what I thought about it. It made me pray in a certain way, or it made me meditate in a certain way. That's not what I'm asking you to do, but it's not totally different from what I'm asking you to do either, right? So for this article, or for this part of the assignment, I'm asking you to think about that article in new ways. How does it impact your own spirituality? How does it impact your practice? How does it impact your ethics? I would say, and this is why this video is going to be the shortest, that has been typically the easiest part for students overall. One other thing, I also notice that it seems that your writing is better on that particular section. It's like students relax and just let it flow. That's not always the case, but in general, it's like students just relax and let it flow. And their writing is more passionate, it is more direct. Typically speaking, it's just better writing because you're not trying to write in an academic manner. You're just trying to let the words flow onto the page, and there's kind of a natural ease, I think, is what I'm seeing. Now, by saying that, I hope I don't make you all nervous and say, okay, well now I have to have this natural ease with which I write the reflection. Just write the reflection. Just give me a couple of paragraphs, of how this particular article makes you think about life and about nursing practice. And you're already doing that. So just keep that up. You're doing well. Keep it up. One last comment about writing. To make sure that there's no confusion, I use the rubric. I've been using the rubric that's in the syllabus to to grade these assignments. I have been correcting grammar, punctuation, spelling, capitalization. I've been doing that because you have a paper to write. I have not been taking points away from that. Where I've taken points, I label it one of two. Like there are these different components to the rubric, 2 points apiece for the thesis, for the strengths, for the weaknesses, that kind of thing, and I'll label that one of two, right? But where I make all these corrections, it's to try to help you become a better writer. That's one of the reasons that the grading takes so long, because I take the time to do that. Now maybe I shouldn't, but I'm trying to help you become better writers because you have a big writing project that you're working on. So that's the method to my madness, and I'm sorry I haven't been a little clearer about that before. Now the next video, I'm going to take on one of my own writing projects, and that'll be available on the Shell as well. And you may want to take a look at that. I think it's kind of an interesting little piece, but I'm going to walk you through kind of a critique of my own writing that I can see through my eyes. All right, so stay tuned.